Hello, dear students. Let us continue this lesson, the volume. Objectives. At the end of this video, students will be able to measure the volume of solids by immersion. The materials that you want to use are a mobile phone or your tab, a calculator, a notebook and a pencil to take some notes, the physics booklet. Instructions. Before you start, please read and follow these instructions. Sit in a quiet place, prepare your stuff, follow your teacher's instructions, repeat the video more than once, ask your teacher for more clarification. Prepare your materials and let's start. From the previous lectures, you learned how to read the volume of a liquid using a graduated cylinder. First, place the graduated cylinder on a horizontal surface. Always read from the lowest part of the curve. The eye of the observer and the lowest part of the curved surface must be on the same horizontal level, as you see here in this figure. Also, you learned how to determine the volume of a liquid inside the graduated cylinder following these steps. Step 1. Read two successive values of the graduated cylinder. Step 2. Subtract the smaller one from the bigger. Step 3. Count the number of dashes separating the two successive values chosen in part 1. Step 4. Divide the number obtained in part 2 by that obtained in part 3. The quotient then obtained is the value of each graduation of this graduated cylinder. From the first part of this lesson, you learned how to find the volume of solids having regular geometrical shape, that is by calculation, by applying this formula V volume equal length times width times height. Also, you learned how to find the volume of the liquid using the graduated cylinder. But what about the volume of a solid having irregular shape? Can you predict a method to find the volume of these solids? Pause the video and think for 2 minutes. It's lab time! To measure the volume of solids, you have to use the immersion method, where in this method the solid object is completely immersed in the liquid. The volume of the object is equal to that of the displaced liquid. Materials: graduated cylinder, wash bottle, and a new rubber eraser. Procedure: first, calculate the volume of the eraser. This eraser is of regular shape. Then we can find the volume of this eraser by applying the calculation method. V equal length times width times height. That is equal to 5 cm times 2 cm times 2 cm. That is equal to 20 cm cube. But do you think that we can find the volume of this eraser using another method? Yeah, it's by immersion method, or we can call it the liquid displacement method, that you have to use the graduated cylinder and immerse the eraser in the liquid. Number 2. Immerse the eraser totally in the graduated cylinder containing V1 equal 20 ml of water. Pay attention. What do you see? Before we immerse the eraser, the volume V1 of the liquid was 20 ml. And when we immerse the eraser, a new level of liquid is obtained. What does this level indicate? Number 3. Indicate the new level of water V2. This volume represents the volume of water and the rubber. Which one is the new level of water V2? It's the 40 ml. What does this volume represent? This volume represents the volume of water and the rubber. Then V2 equal 40 ml. Then what will be the volume of the eraser? The volume of the eraser is equal to V2, that represents the volume of the water plus the eraser, minus V1, that represents the volume of the water. That is equal to 40 milliliter minus 20 milliliter to give 20 milliliter. That is the same as 20 centimeter cube because 1 milliliter is equal to 1 centimeter cube. Then finally, the volume of the eraser is 20 centimeter cube. Application: open your worksheet number 3 and follow me. Consider the adjacent small stone. Can we calculate its volume? Why? Look at this stone. Is it of regular geometrical shape or irregular shape? Yes, right, it's of irregular shape, so it doesn't have length or width or height. Then, can we calculate its volume? No, since the stone has an irregular geometrical shape, so we can't calculate its volume. But how can we indicate the volume of the stone? It's by using the another method that is called the liquid displacement or immersion. Example: consider the following figure. Indicate the volume V1 of the water. The volume V1 of the water is in the first graduated cylinder, that is equal 150 milliliter. Indicate the volume V2 of the water and the stone. The volume V2, that represents the volume of the water plus the stone, it's shown in the second graduated cylinder, that is equal to V2, that is equal to 180 milliliter. Number 3, calculate the volume of the stone. The volume of the stone is the difference between these two levels, that is called the volume of the displaced liquid. Then, the volume of the stone is equal to V2 minus V1, that is equal to 180 milliliter minus 150 milliliter to give 30 milliliter, that is equal to 30 centimeter cube. Application: also it's on your worksheet number 3. Follow me. Consider the graduated cylinder. Indicate the volume of water in the graduated cylinder V1. It's 10 milliliter, that is equal to 10 centimeter cube. Draw the level of water if a stone of volume 5 centimeter cube is totally immersed in water. To draw the level of water, we want to know V2, that's the volume of the stone, plus water. The volume of the stone is 5 centimeter cube. And also, they gave you from the first part the volume of the water, that is 10 centimeter cube. Add them, 5 centimeter cube plus 10 centimeter cube to get 15 centimeter cube. And then draw the level of the water at 15 centimeter cube. Please pay attention here, that is a very important note. The solid which we can measure its volume by immersion must satisfy the following two conditions. What are these conditions? It must be totally immersed in the liquid, like that shown in this beaker. The stone is totally immersed in the liquid, while in the second beaker it's not, so it's not correct. The second condition is that it must not be soluble in the liquid used, like that shown in this figure, or like measuring the volume of sugar in water. That is incorrect because the sugar will be dissolved or soluble in water. Summary: to find the volume of a liquid, we have to use the graduated cylinder, while if it is a solid, it could be of regular shape or irregular shape. Then if it is of regular shape, we can find the volume of this solid by calculation or by immersion method. While if it is of irregular shape, we have only one method, that is immersion. I want you to review the previous applications and the summary. In worksheet 3, underline and memorize the remark in the box and all the bolded information, plus copy the answers on your booklet. This video is prepared by teacher Salwa Shabshul, recorded by teacher Zainab Saifuddin, reviewed and supervised by teacher Ghaida Shraif. Thanks for your attention.